be very, very helpful to slowing the spread of the virus.
New hope. Governor DeWine announces the state has procured millions of at-home COVID tests that will deliver results within minutes, right in your living room. Could this be a game changer in getting us back to work and school? Plus, Amazon to the rescue? The massive tech company saying they can help vaccinate tens of millions of Americans right now. And our senior health reporter is answering more of your questions on where and how you can sign up to get a vaccine.
Exclusive investigation. A top Metro Parks executive is out of a job tonight after allegedly exaggerating his qualifications for years.
They are young boys who can achieve whatever they want.
I can barely hear you, but I'm here.
That is really powerful.
And the power of diversity.
Yeah,
An
much
Ohio
better,
mom
much better.
On the message
Yes, much better,
Vice
much better.
President Kamala Harris sends to her Asian American kids. What's new starts now.
Sure. Sean McHugh is the $142,000 a year executive in charge of the 8 golf courses here at Metro Park, including Manakiki and...
Happy Friday Eve, everybody, and welcome to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling at home, and my
How's the
co-host
white
Jay
balance?
Crawford still in the studio. Hey there, Jay.
Betsy, very good to see you. A very good Thursday afternoon to you, as well as to
Craig was
everyone
using
at
the yellow
home. Thanks
snow
so much
instead
for
of the white
choosing What's
snow.
New. What a beautiful day. We actually had sunshine today, and what a difference a little sunshine can make. It was nice to see. We begin today at 5 with a big new announcement from Governor DeWine that he says will help all of us get back to work, and it will help our kids get back to school. We've been waiting for a long time for this. It all has to do with COVID tests you can take in the comfort of your own home. Laura Queso is here now with details on that. Laura, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. Yeah, this is a new tool to help us fight COVID-19 and stop the spread. And this is going to increase our testing ability in the state. A game changer, really. Governor DeWine said this new agreement allows communities to more aggressively test for COVID-19 than at any other time during this pandemic. So the state is partnering with Abbott and EMed for the purchase of 2 million at-home rapid antigen tests that can be self-administered. Get this, results in about 15 minutes. You would be guided virtually while taking the test.
I'm getting everything reset
this $50 million investment comes from CARES Act funding. The tests are going to health departments, which will then distribute them based on need. For example, they could send tests to a zip code that's deemed a hotspot or a school, even a business that's had an outbreak. First responders even may be using them too. The governor was questioned today, though, about the accuracy. Could they provide a false positive similar to the one he received right before the presidential debate in Cleveland?
This has been a request from local health departments who have really said to us, we need to control some of these. So if we've got a hot spot over here, we got a problem here, we can go in right that day and get people tested.
Okay, excellent. And my microphone sounds pretty good?
A false negative.
That's correct. Yeah, with these tests, the challenge is the possibility of false negative. When an antigen test is positive, statistically speaking, it's positive.
There you have it. Then you would know to self-isolate and take all the precautions. Now, the governor said, Jay, this is going to really help testing in our state. One other note that came from the press conference today, that 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, it will be extended beyond January 23rd. He said the hospitalizations are simply too high in the state, but he did not say just how long the curfew will be extended. So, of course, when we do hear from him, we will bring that to you all.
And we have good news talking about hospitalizations in the state when it comes to COVID-19. Those numbers coming up a little later in the show. Laura, thank you very much. We've waited a long time for these home tests.
That's
now,
right.
As we've done the past few days, our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, will join us again. That's coming up in just a little bit. She will be answering more of your questions concerning the vaccine and how to get it. Again, that is Monica Robbins coming up answering your questions about 30 minutes from now.
Well, we are nearly a year into the pandemic now, and many Ohioans are still struggling to make it through each week. Every week since the end of March last year, the Muni Lot has opened as a food distribution site, serving 3,000 families on average each time. Today, those waiting in line say they are dependent on these food distribution sites, especially as unemployment benefits and jobs are slow to return.
They can't get their jobs back because either the restaurant closed or the company's doing the distancing, so they cut off half of the jobs they had. For the most part, a lot of these same families are coming down here every single week for the produce and the proteins that we pass out.
Well, there is some good news on the unemployment side of things. The state says their system has been updated to begin sending out the extra $300 per week benefit approved by Congress on December 27th. For those who have been waiting, the payments will be retroactive.
Well, today's sunshine has plenty of golfers thinking about perhaps getting back out on the course in a few months, especially the beloved courses that are part of the Cleveland Metro Parks. But a 3 News investigation revealed taxpayers may not have been getting their money's worth from a top executive in charge of the park system's courses. In this 3 News exclusive, Mark Namick explains what the executive was doing off the fairways and has the recent fallout. Hello, Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, Jay. And yeah, the gentleman's name is Sean McHugh. He's the $142,000 a year executive in charge of the golf course since 2013. As you know, the golf courses include many like this one here in Brecksville, Sleepy Hollow. The 3 News investigation found that McHugh has exaggerated his qualifications, falling well short of those that are listed specifically by the Metro Parks as required for the job. We've also found that he does spend some time during the day away from the golf courses when he's checked in and logged in as working here at the Metro Parks. McHugh does not hold a 4-year degree in turfgrass science from Rutgers University, as he's claimed for years, and he recently removed that information from his profile on the business network LinkedIn after questions were raised about his background. He also didn't earn a key golf certification until 10 years after he originally claimed he had it. 3 News has learned that McHugh is also a paid member of the Cuyahoga County Agriculture Society, the public board that runs the fairgrounds. Public records show that he's attended board meeting minutes and related activities on the fairgrounds while being clocked in and listed as working for the Metro Parks. Now, we reached out to McHugh and the Metro Parks administration for a statement, and we heard this morning in an email that they're aware of the discrepancies, and they said that McHugh is no longer an active employee and has put in for retirement. And late today, just minutes before coming on the air, the Metro Parks did send another statement saying that McHugh was allowed to come and go because as long as he worked his 40 hours, they were okay with that. There'll be more to come on this, Jay.
All right, Mark Namick reporting tonight. Mark, thank you very much. Mark will be back at 6 with more on what he's uncovered on this story. Betsy?
Well, over in Washington, D.C., now on his first full day in office, President Biden is focusing on the COVID crisis, signing a series of executive orders and pulling together a huge stimulus package that is already facing partisan pushback on Capitol Hill.
Hey, guys, I'm not hearing anything.
Our Russ Mitchell has more with what's new
I'm not hearing
how the
anything.
president has things planned.
Good afternoon.
I'm
in his
plugged
first
in,
full
but I'm
day
not
on
hearing
the job,
you.
President Biden following through on a central promise of his campaign,
well,
laying out a detailed pandemic battle plan.
The batteries are fine.
Heaven and
the lights are on.
To get more people vaccinated for free and create more places for them to get vaccinated.
The president signing 10 executive orders to dramatically ramp up vaccinations,
would I be hearing
expand
anything?
testing,
Yeah, I can hear myself.
safely reopen
Okay.
schools and
Yeah, that was
businesses,
weird.
and mandate mask wearing
Yeah, I
in
do.
airports, planes, and trains.
But we had a little
the
IFB
Biden team
debacle
saying
there.
it has to start from scratch on a vaccine distribution plan because it says the Trump administration did not lay the
How much
groundwork.
time do we have?
The new president vowing to use the Defense Production Act to help reach the goal of 100 million vaccinations in his first 100 days.
We're in a national emergency, and it's time we treat it like one.
President Biden is pushing a nearly $2 trillion rescue package to pay for it all and extend more help to Americans, as another 900,000 filed first-time unemployment claims last week.
Many Republican leaders balking at the high price tag and the president's sweeping plans.
He knows the agenda, and those executive orders he is signing are partisan. That's dividing.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still has not announced when she plans to send the article of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate for trial. The Biden administration is also hoping to fast-track approvals for cabinet positions. The Senate approved Avril Haines as the Director of National Intelligence. She's the first woman to hold that job. And today, a confirmation hearing for Transportation Secretary nominee Pete Buttigieg was held before a Senate committee. So, Betsy, things moving fast and furious in Washington these days.
We think that this would be very, very helpful.
We knew there was going to be a big flurry of activity, and it seems like there's a lot of Governor DeWine announces the state has procured millions of at-home COVID tests that will deliver results within minutes.
Congratulations tonight to Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, who today was named by the Sporting News and the Pro Football Writers of America as the NFL's Coach of the Year, and he deserves it. Stefanski came into an organization known for its dysfunction, and in his first season took the team from 6 wins a year ago all the way to 11 regular season wins and a playoff victory this season. Stefanski called the plays for the Browns on offense, which scored 408 points. That is the third highest single season point total in Cleveland Browns history. Pretty incredible when you think about it, Betsy. And to win in the NFL, everyone knows this. You need a top-notch head coach, and you need a top-notch quarterback. And for so many years, the Browns really didn't have either one.
And now
they have
from WKYC Studios,
the first winning combination, head coach quarterback, going all the way back to the Kozar Schottenheimer years.
Happy Friday Eve, everybody, and welcome to What's New. I'm Betsy Kling at home.
Just trying to think, like, you know, when was the last time going into the off season?
Betsy, very good
we
to see
knew
you.
who the coach was going to be on the other end, and we knew who the starting quarterback was going to be on the other side of that off season. It is really a different kind of a vibe, and there's definitely a lot more excitement. I think the jersey sales are going gangbusters. So
we begin today at 5 with a big new announcement from Governor DeWine that he says will help all of us get back to work,
be proud
and it
of
will
it
help our
and
kids
say
get
it to
back
everybody
to school.
out and about.
We've been waiting for a long time.
This is how you build success.
It all
you
has to do with
these
COVID tests.
Quarterbacks and coaches back
in the comfort of your
now
own
a second
home.
year.
Laura
This will be the
Queso
first
is
time
here
in Baker
with
Mayfield's
details
career
on that. Laura, very
that
good
he will
afternoon
run
to
the
you.
same
Good afternoon
offense
to you. Yeah, this is a new
seasons
tool
in a row.
to help
Think
us fight
about that.
COVID-19 and stop the spread. And this
That's got to be a good thing
to
as we get
our
going on that. Oh my
testability in the
gosh,
state.
definitely some exciting things ahead.
Governor
well,
DeWine said
speaking
this
of
new
exciting
agreement
things
allows
ahead,
communities to more
breaking the
aggressively
glass
test
ceiling,
for
an Ohio
COVID-19
mom on the
than at
message
any
Vice
other
President
time
Kamala
during
Harris
this
sends
pandemic.
to her
So the state is
Asian-American
partnering
kids.
with Abbott and EMED
And then a
for the
very different
purchase of
story.
2 million
Joe Exotic
at-home
has some
rapid
thoughts
antigen
about
tests
not being
that can be
pardoned by President
self-administered.
Trump.
Get this,
His take
results
in Pop Break.
in about 15 minutes. You would be
And
guided
of course, we want to get an update on what's going on with that forecast. Matt wins. I had to hang paper over my windows so I didn't have crazy shadows here in Studio Kling. But look at that sunset over downtown Cleveland. What a gorgeous
They
evening.
could send tests to a zip code that's deemed a
Betsy, it looks
hotspot
great. And
or
welcome
a
to working
school,
from home. We
even
have
a
got
business
construction
that's had an
paper all
outbreak.
over our windows
First
in our house.
responders
It looks
even
like
may be using them.
it looks like a party
The
center
governor
or
was
something like that.
questioned today,
But
though,
yeah,
about
the sunshine was nice,
accuracy.
but Betsy, it's not
Could
going to
they
last.
provide a
We've
false
got
positive
clouds and
similar
some
to the
snow
one
and some
he
cold air
received
coming
right
back
before
into
the
the forecast.
presidential
We've got the
debate in
details
Cleveland?
coming up.
This has been a request from local health departments who have really said to us, we need to control some of these. So if we've got a hot spot over here, we got a problem here, we can go in right that day and get people tested. You still could have, though, a false negative.
That's correct. Yeah, with these tests, the challenge is the possibility of false negative. When an antigen test is positive, statistically speaking, it's positive.
There you have it. Then you would know to self-isolate and take all the precautions. Now, the governor said, Jay, this is going to really help testing in our state. One other note that came from the press conference today, that 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, it will be extended beyond January 23rd. He said the hospitalizations are simply too high in the state, but he did not say just how long the curfew will be extended. So, of course,
Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Will from us how?
Well, yesterday's inauguration broke many glass ceilings. Our nation watched the first female, first black, and first Asian American vice president sworn into office. Well, as you can imagine, and as Will Ewick reports, the impact of all these firsts is being felt all the way here in Ohio.
Help me God.
As 56-year-old Kamala Harris, the daughter of an Indian mother and Jamaican father, was sworn into the vice presidency, the world watched with a range of emotion.
Kamala Harris is a black Indian woman. My mom's also an Indian woman.
But there was only one emotion coming from Kavitha Kotha's house.
So when it was happening, what I did was, yeah!
Unbridled joy.
We were like dancing while they were doing the oath, and at one point, Rohan was like putting his hand under doing the oath with Kamala Harris.
I think it was important to share with them. They are young boys who can achieve whatever they want, and so showing them that is really powerful.
Kavitha grew up in Westlake, Ohio, before moving with her family to the Columbus area. She remembers being a kid and only dreaming of a day she'd see someone that looked like her achieve something like this. And now she got to watch her two sons, 7-year-old Rohan and 9-year-old Tejas, see it with their own eyes.
For the first time seeing someone like me, it was cool to share those moments with the boys and explain to them, you know, the power and the magnitude of everything that was going on.
It was a big event for their family, celebrated throughout the day, with special dishes giving nods to Harris's roots, like marsala dosa, pao bhaji, and Jamaican curry chicken. But for dessert, it was apple pie, symbolism for America, where Kavitha now believes her two sons can not just dream like she did, but actually achieve the highest offices in the land.
I want to be a zoologist when I grow up.
That is, if they want to.
I'm not quite sure, but I want to do something that has to do with nature. Although being the president wouldn't be too bad.
Now, I also did get a chance to ask Tejas and Rohan what they would ask of Vice President Harris if they had the chance. And they had a pretty tall order, Betsy. They asked for her to find a way to keep coronavirus from impacting their schools, as well as have everyone in the United States that 1-on-1 be able to get a job. So we'll see if this administration can live up to that very tall bar that they set.
I'm sure that she would love to do that, most certainly. And what an inspiration that family is. You know, this becomes such a great learning experience on many different levels. But to have that personal, cultural connection, that's kind of a special thing and definitely something to be celebrated. Will Ewick, thank you so much for that.
Something they'll remember, absolutely.
Jay.
All right, it is time to take a look at the weather, which today, by my definition, was absolutely perfect as long as you're talking about January weather. So, Matt, your weather word today is repeatable. I hope that weather is repeatable sometime in the near future because it was gorgeous.
Yeah, Jay, boy, hands down, we got the kids outside today for the first time in months, and I'll tell you, they were screaming and yelling, and I was going to say, you know, the neighbors, but Let them go, man. Let them go. It was just so nice outside today. So I hope you appreciated it, and I know much of Northeast Ohio did as well. But temperatures here this evening, they remained on the warm side, right? We have that southerly push. It's been quite breezy. We've got area-wide 40s. How about that? That's over snowpack. That's tough to do this time of year. Temperatures aren't going to fade a whole lot here this evening. As we go throughout the overnight, that's when we see those changes. Winds have been gusty out of the west-southwest. The yellow numbers, those are your gusts, over 30 at times for much of Northeast Ohio. These winds will be with us tonight and tomorrow as well. The clear skies, though, giving us a great look at Lake Erie. There is not much ice, about 3%, and that is confined to the lakeshore areas. You can see the snowpack over the land that we've kind of eroded today with that sunshine, but a gorgeous look down on Northeast Ohio, courtesy of the MODIS satellite. But you can see clear skies now, but off towards the north, that's where the changes lie. We've got that very cold air that we've been a part of our forecasts over the last couple days, kind of shifted off towards the north, and we've got a frontal boundary that will sag south tonight. That'll bring clouds, that'll kick up the lake effect snow once again, and it's really frigid. We've got temperatures in the single digits, even below zero, not too far to our north. It's going to be notably colder for your Northeast Ohio Friday. In fact, wind chills over the next 24 hours. Feeling pretty balmy right now, right? Look what happens through the morning hours, feeling like the 20s. We can manage that, but then back into the teens tomorrow afternoon. Some of our coldest wind chills will actually take place tomorrow afternoon and evening. So how do we get there? Your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecasts. Much like the other day, this pattern is going to be very repeatable over the next couple days, as you'll see here in the forecast. Yes! And you can see we'll bring some of those clouds, even some snow showers across the area. Overnight tonight, I think the lake effect will get a little bit better organized tomorrow. We'll have to watch out areas east of Cleveland. You know the drill, a couple inches possible out in the snow belt. The rest of us, we may squeak out some sunshine, but it's going to be notably colder tomorrow. Temperatures will start near 30, and then they're going to fall back as we go throughout the day. Those lake effect snow showers will continue, especially east of Cleveland, overnight tomorrow, and then a very cold start to your Saturday. We are going to bring sunshine back in here Saturday, but it looks like some of those lake clouds will be hanging on early. Perhaps some snow showers out of that, too. Models thinking the lakes have a lot more ice cover on them. And that lake is wide open, so we could still see some snow showers around Saturday morning. So how much snow? Not a lot for most of us. Again, maybe a couple inches out Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County, even eastern Cuyahoga County, northern Portage County. Could see a little bit of snow with that as well. Your Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Yeah, we've got a 31 sandwich going on this weekend. Saturday's going to be cold, 25. You can see the warm-up as we advance our next system in. This is the one that we're going to be talking about in the next half hour. Wintry mix over to some snow. I've got the latest model run on that, but Jay, it certainly is going to be much different around here tomorrow, so I hope you can get outside and bottle that air while it lasts.
Yeah, I hope everyone was able to enjoy it while it was here. Matt, thanks. We'll see you in the next half hour. Coming up next on What's New, Joe Exotic of Tiger King fame did not get a get-out-of-jail-free card from President Trump on his way out of office, and he is hot about it. Details ahead in our daily pop break. Plus, the bond between one dog and its owner is so strong, nothing will stop the two from being together. This is a great story. It's our worth the watch, and it is coming up.
Well, now it's time for your daily dose of entertainment. Rapper Drake explains why his new album won't be released on time, and Joe Exotic has some thoughts on not being pardoned by President Trump. Here's Kira Cotton with today's pop.
Sorry, Drake fans. It looks like you'll be waiting a little bit longer for the certified lover boy. The 34-year-old rapper posted to his Instagram story yesterday announcing that his 6th studio album won't be released this month. According to the rapper, between surgery and rehab, his energy has been dedicated to recovery. Well, sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess we all know now. Moving on to Tiger King, 57-year-old Joe Exotic is not happy after he wasn't included in Trump's list of pardons during his last days in office. In a tweet, he expressed his frustration, saying, "Boy, were we all stupid to believe he actually stood for equal justice. His corrupt friends all come first." Over the past year, Exotic has been petitioning to get pardoned, releasing a video proclaiming his innocence and even writing the former president a lengthy letter. Joe is currently serving the first year of a 22-year prison sentence for plotting to kill his nemesis Carol Baskin. And Oprah Winfrey is carrying on a tradition that began back in 1993. The longtime media mogul gifted 22-year-old Amanda Gorman her jewelry for her appearance at yesterday's inauguration.
In the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is.
While on air, Oprah's bestie, Gayle King, revealed that after buying Maya Angelou's coat for Bill Clinton's inauguration, she wanted to do something equally as special for Amanda. Winfrey gave Gorman earrings and a ring shaped like a cage bird as a tribute to Angelou's iconic poem. Yesterday was a historic day on many fronts, one that many won't soon forget. Back to you guys.
Kira, thanks. I love today's Worth the Watch. It proves again dogs really are the best. A dog in Turkey followed an ambulance that had her owner inside. Family tried to bring the dog home. They did, but the dog would only escape and then ran all the way to the hospital. She ended up waiting outside the hospital for a few days until her owner was released. And when she came out, there was the dog. Look how happy. And we are happy to report the two are now home together again. That is an animal that loves his owner. Pretty cool, Bets. Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. And of course, we are only looking at it from the dog's perspective, right? But I imagine that owner thought that was a pretty sweet moment, too. Very happy to be out and, of course, have the best dog there to greet him as he gets out the door.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to them. Way overwear, but man, that's some cool stuff.
Yep.
Well, coming up for us here in the next 30 minutes, our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, will join us to answer your questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. She has been inundated with the questions. She's trying to answer them as quickly as she can. And then Amazon to the rescue. The tech company says it can help get 100 million Americans vaccinated in the next 100 days. We're going to tell you how the tech giant plans to do it. And look at these delicious treats. The master behind them is 13 years old. The story behind her new business when we come back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And welcome to the second half hour of What's New. We are so glad to be spending time with you. Betsy Kling, still working from home. I'm Jay Crawford. Betsy, just a quick shout out to our Cavaliers, who last night, thanks to 42 points from Colin Sexton, beat the favorites to win the East, the Brooklyn Nets, including Kyrie Irving, in double overtime. It was a thrilling game and a big win for our Cavaliers.
I saw that Colin Sexton had that 42 points, and I was like, oh, my word. Like, it was so unexpected. But, you know, they've got some young guns. They're going to be playing pretty well. So hopefully they can continue to hang, because that's kind of a nice little boost to the egos a little bit.
Betsy, at one point in double overtime and regular overtime, Colin Sexton scored 20 straight points for the Cavaliers. Pretty impressive stuff.
Sounds like somebody else we had on our team a long time ago.
You're exactly right.
All right, let's get things going here at the bottom of the hour. And we, of course, begin with three things that you need to know. President Joe Biden spent most of his first full day focusing on the pandemic. He signed 10 orders that focus on his national COVID-19 strategy. He's vowing to use the Defense Production Act to help reach his goal of getting 100 million Americans vaccinated in the first 100 days of his presidency. He's also pushing a nearly $2 trillion rescue package to pay for it all. This as 900,000 Americans filed first-time unemployment claims last week. And Governor Mike DeWine here in Ohio announced that this afternoon the state has partnered with two companies to buy 2 million at-home COVID tests. Ohioans can do the test themselves with a little virtual instruction and receive the results within 15 minutes right there in your living room. The state used $50 million from the CARES Act to pay for those tests. Governor DeWine believes the testing will now get easier The testing will now be easier to get a hold of. They're being sent to local health departments for further distribution. And we have some good news. It looks like the twin-demic that experts warned about, remember when they were talking about the flu and the coronavirus pandemic that was going to strain the hospital systems? Well, now it looks like it's not going to happen. It turns out that the flu numbers are dramatically down this season. Last year at this time, the CDC reported high flu activity in most states. Keep in mind, that was before masking and all that good stuff. This year, it's low in every state. Health experts credit the masking and social distancing measures that people are taking to slow that spread of COVID-19. And guess what? It's also slowed the spread of flu, although it's done a little bit better job with the flu than COVID, because COVID just spreads a lot more easily. Jay?
Well, Betsy, today's COVID numbers are a bit of a mixed bag. The state reporting 7,271 new cases. That's slightly more than our 21-day average, but it's 893 more cases than we had yesterday. But the good news comes in the form of the positivity rate. A huge drop in our daily positivity rate. It's down more than 4 percentage points from yesterday, which was over 13%. Also, the trend of hospitalizations going down continued. This trend now is ongoing for 3 weeks. That number down to 3,406 COVID-19 patients statewide. That's 150 fewer than yesterday's number. It's more than 600 fewer hospitalized patients than we had just 2 weeks ago. Sadly, though, the state reported 109 more deaths related to the coronavirus. And that brings us to our top talker at 5:30. We know many of you have questions about how to get this coronavirus vaccine. So we've carved out a pretty big size of time in each of our last two shows, and we're doing the same thing again today to answer some of the more frequently asked questions. And to do that for us, we bring in senior health correspondent Monica Robbins back with more answers to your questions today. Monica, I think this is really helping a lot of people. Good afternoon to you.
Hey, good afternoon, Jay. Yeah, I've had several emails from people who are concerned about those reports of severe allergic reactions and some deaths, especially in Europe. So for perspective, I want to tell you that nearly 55 million people around the world have received vaccine. Yes, there have been a few dozen allergic reactions, some requiring medical attention. The CDC, though, says anyone who has an allergy to any ingredient in either of the vaccines or had a reaction after the first dose should not not get the vaccine. Now, Norway reported 33 deaths. Germany reported 8. And their health investigators are trying to determine whether it was a direct result of the vaccine. Keep in mind, though, these deaths occurred in people over age 75, and many of them had terminal illness or severe underlying disease. Those with allergies, keep in mind you can expect to be monitored for a minimum of 30 minutes after you get your vaccination. And reactions are not unexpected, but so far the situations are rare compared to how many people have been vaccinated. And health experts say the risks of COVID far outweigh the risk of a possible allergic reaction. Another email I've received along those lines, many have asked me if they can sue vaccine manufacturers if they have a bad reaction. Well, last year, Congress passed the PrEP, known as the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act. It limits legal liability relating to treatments and vaccines for COVID, which essentially gives the manufacturers immunity from lawsuits. However, the only exception to the PrEP Act is for death and serious physical injury caused by willful misconduct. And individuals who die or suffer serious injury may be compensated through the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. I put a link to the PrEP Act on our vaccine guide at wkyc.com/vaccine if you'd like to read the whole thing and find out how that legal liability stacks up. And I know many of you do not have computers or even someone to help get you registered. So there are 3 options I can give you. You can call the United Way's 211 helpline. That will connect you to your local health department. University Hospital, set up a voicemail that you can call and give your contact information, and someone will call you back to help get you registered. That number is different from the one I gave you yesterday. The new number is 216-767-8986. Again, it's a different number from yesterday. 216-767-8986. And then there's, of course, Cleveland Clinic. That number that you can call is 216-444-2538. Of course, Cleveland Clinic would like you to sign up on your MyChart, but if you don't have access to a computer, and again, this is only for those over age 80, Jay, 216-444-2538 is for those who want to call the Cleveland Clinic and just try and get registered. Back to you.
Monica, again, great information. Thank you very much. And Monica will be back 30 minutes from now on What Matters Most at 6. She'll be answering even more of your questions. Betsy?
Well, there is a big need to get more vaccines to states faster. UPS and FedEx have been delivering them to the major distribution sites around the country, but Amazon steps up and says they can get those shots across the finish line and into the people's hands who will put it into your arm. Tonight, we are connecting the dots on how they plan to help.
Newly sworn in President Biden could get some help in the effort to vaccinate more people for coronavirus from Amazon. Let's connect the dots. While some businesses have struggled during the coronavirus pandemic, Amazon's business has boomed. Meanwhile, the effort to vaccinate Americans has hit roadblocks, with the toughest component being what logistics experts call the last mile, getting the vaccine to someone's arm. It's the part of the distribution process that Amazon has excelled at, getting packages to doorsteps in a timely and efficient manner. Now the massive company is offering the Biden administration its logistical know-how to help with vaccinations. In a letter to the incoming administration, the company's worldwide operations leader offers their technology, operations, and communications capabilities to assist getting vaccines to people who need them. Amazon is also offering more than just its tech. It's floated the idea of turning its facilities into vaccination sites. Amazon has huge facilities all across the country, though it's not clear which ones could be used. Though the company does say it already has an agreement with healthcare providers to administer the vaccine on site.
Well, Jay, as you can imagine, this could seriously help the Biden administration complete their goal of delivering the 100 million vaccines into people's arms in 100 days. Ohio has given more than 500,000 shots so far, but as we just heard from Monica, there's a lot of people who still need to get these shots, and we are so very far away from any kind of herd immunity that this could be a very critical step.
Yeah. Now, obviously, when you're as big as Amazon, you have critics, and you have many of them. And a lot of those critics today were saying, while this is great and it will help the vaccine get into the arms of more Americans. A lot of folks are wondering what took Amazon so long, in fact, until the Biden administration took over. So already this is being politicized. A spokesperson for Amazon, when reached, declined to offer or give an explanation as to why it did not make this offer to the Trump administration. The good news, we've got to get this vaccine out, and we've got to get it out yesterday. We're behind the 8 ball. Betsy, thanks. Well, you've seen the hilarious memes by now of Bernie Sanders at the inauguration. Now there is a new tool that lets you put him anywhere you'd like. It's actually pretty funny. Plus, how you can get your inaugural Bernie bobblehead. I'm not making that up. Then a local mom gifted her 13-year-old daughter a chocolate business. The incredible story behind their journey and where you can find these delicious treats.
Hey, mic check, Matt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still working?
Hello, mic check. Not everyone knows how to make a meme, so the internet took care of that for us. Cool, yep.
Alrighty, here it is, about 20 till the top of the hour or so, and we are talking weather because things have been pretty nice out there, Matt. We'll take another one of these, please.
Yeah, Betsy, we're going to start this weathercast with good news, and then we'll kind of slowly transition to the weather. Let's just talk about that as we go through time. But you know what? I want to start out with sunset times. Let's check in with those because tonight's sunset, it's still light outside, right? 5:30 is our sunset tonight or around there. Look, by next Thursday, we're up around 5:40. And then in a couple weeks, 4 weeks, we're going to be surpassing the 6 o'clock hour. How about that? We're gaining about 2 minutes of daylight per day right now. And that is going to continue as we head through the spring season, even up to 3 minutes as we approach spring. The added sunlight does wonders on our temperature. 42 degrees officially today. Our average high is actually starting to go up as well. It's a slow process, but we're at 34 degrees. That was our lowest point, and we'll start to climb here over the next couple days. And now for the other part of the weathercast. Here are your wind chills over the next 24 hours. We've got colder air working back in. In fact, it's going to feel more like the teens by this time tomorrow night as that cold front continues to work in from the north and the west. So this is what it looks like. We had that brief warm up out ahead of this low pressure, kind of pulling some of that warm air in, that sunshine in. But this is going to swing back down to the south, and that will bring the cold air in here tonight and tomorrow. It'll also kick off some lake effect snow, pretty similar to the other day. Not the Clipper, but the lake effect setup, where we're likely going to see a couple inches before all is said and done tomorrow night out in the snow belt. But look down towards the south. Boy, the southern stream of the jet stream is now wide open. We've got moisture in place. How does that add to our forecast? Well, coming up next week, we're going to add that moisture into our cold air, and we're going to have a pretty decent storm. But until then, we've got fairly quiet weather, all things considered, outside of these lake effect bands overnight tonight. Your National Design Mart Hour by our forecast showing temperatures going down. We'll have the snow showers kicking up tonight. Tomorrow morning, I think we'll have some lake effect snow ongoing. Not a big event, just a typical January afternoon around here, right? Could see a couple inches again. Primary places would be out east in that primary snow belt, but temperatures tomorrow in the 20s. It doesn't get much better than that. Let's fast forward, though, towards the storm system we've been talking about last couple days. We've got cold high pressure settling in here Saturday, so cold air is going to be in place. Here comes the moisture. Latest model runs with this system. Keep the low right over Ohio. So what's that mean for us? A mess. We could have either snow, freezing rain, and sleet, or rain, depending on where this low tracks. Right now, the latest Euro keeps the wintry precipitation off towards the north, a little bit more of a mix down towards the south. Just showing snowfall potential. The Euro saying, yeah, we are really close to some of that heavier snow. The GFS, a little bit warmer solution, a little bit further south. Certainly a storm you're going to want to pay attention to as we go over the next couple days. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Cold on Saturday. Here's that storm. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then, Jay, we are looking cold next week. Temperatures generally right in the upper 20s. So it's going to stay in this cold pattern. Today, I think, was the bright spot.
All right. That might be mitten weather, Matt.
Yeah.
That might be mitten weather.
Oh, I know. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you probably know where I'm going.
Where you're going.
Yeah, I know you do. Bernie Sanders might have been out of the presidential race months ago, but he stole the show yesterday with his winterish Vermont style choice. The picture of him arriving in a winter coat and mittens carrying that envelope has gone viral. And now there's a bobblehead to come up to commemorate the ensemble. The bobblehead, by the way, will cost you $25. Our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, joins us now. Stephanie, there's a new twist to the memes that we've been seeing online, which, by the way, have been wildly entertaining.
They have, Jay, and it is perfect. Not everyone can make their own memes, so the internet took care of that for us. NYU grad student Nick Swanee built an app to put Bernie Sanders anywhere on Google Street View. Since we discovered this, Bernie has been very busy around Northeast Ohio today, at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, at First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, and at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before popping over to the West Side Market in Ohio City. You know Bernie couldn't come to Cleveland without stopping by WKYC, so here he is waiting outside for a live shot with Austin Love and checking out Matt Wince's Weather Cave. He made a quick stop here at Studio Stephanie before taking a peek inside WKYC studios, and these two look familiar, very focused with the senator from Vermont, Jay and Betsy.
That is so great. I didn't even know he was with us in studio, Betsy.
I love how people have been doing this. It's so funny, just random places that people are popping him in, and it's brilliant. So bravo to everybody who's got a sense of humor.
The mittens.
It's great, and I've been in that studio. He's adequately dressed, very cold. Now, it wasn't just Bernie's fashion that was. It really is. Not just Bernie's fashion, though, that was stealing the show at the inauguration. There were some subtle and not so subtle nods to unity. So take a look at this really quick. Dr. Jill Biden's outfit, designed by Gabriella Hearst. You see there embroidered flowers? Those are all of the state flowers and the official flowers of U.S. territories and the District of Columbia. The message there bringing the states together. And what about all that purple that we saw? Well, what do you get when you bring together red and blue, the colors of the Republican and the Democratic parties? You get purple. So there's the message from our Vice President Kamala Harris and also First Lady Michelle Obama, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and others. And also, by the way, purple is also a nod to the women's suffrage movement, Jay, so another potential symbolism there.
All right, I love that, blending red and blue to get purple. We could use a lot of that these days. Stephanie, great stuff. Thank you very much.
Well, we've asked you a couple times, but the answer seems to be the same. How many of you really love the gift of chocolate? Everybody does, right? Well, almost everybody. Coming up, we have the story of a local mom who gifted her 13-year-old a chocolate business. We'll see in just a moment. Well, tonight we're serving up something special for you. Jasmine Monroe shares the story of a girl from Shaker who had a very sweet 13.
I'm a business owner. What a way to wake up.
Meet Cherish Marie, a 13-year-old girl who loves all things chocolate.
We love to make and we love to stack.
Yeah. Her mother, Ardelia, came up with a sweet idea for her 13th birthday. Instead of a surprise party, she gifted her a business, Coco Gourmet Chocolate Bar.
Well, with the climate and with COVID and all the changes that's going on, I do want you to be able to be self-sufficient. I want you to learn some of the lessons that I never learned and I know other people in our community did not learn.
And when she told me about that, she also told me about the surprise party. I was like, Mom. And then when it got started, when I actually came into the mall for the first time, I was like, wow. It's gonna be an eventful day.
Their goal was to sell at least 20 cups of hot chocolate at Beechwood Mall. Instead, they sold 650. Not bad for some first-timers.
We're like totally like regular people, and this has been like a crazy, overwhelming, awesome journey.
The sugary treat packs a bunch of sweet confections like sprinkles, cookies, donuts, and more. Cherish describes it as delicious, fun, and elegant.
They were amazed. Like, the kids would be fighting over it and stuff, and the adults would be like, wow.
Yes, everyone was taking photos.
Tell me what it tastes like.
It's blue. Not to mention, there are 0 calories. At least I think that's what they said.
It has 2 calories and a lot of zeros behind it, more than likely.
But who's counting when they're serving you up a cup of love?
I want them to remember the love that was put into it, and so when they go home, they could be like, they could have time with their family. They could kick it behind the fireplace, have some hot chocolate. It doesn't even have to be ours, but it'll spark some love in their heart.
I'm Jasmine Monroe, 3 News.
What a sweet story. Well, you never know where their little pop-up shop will be next. We have more information for you on WKYC.com.
And that's just 2 calories with a few zeros behind it.
Yeah.
Still ahead on What's New. You've got to hear these Broadway singers, or Broadway actors sing. What a great job they did with the mashup at the inauguration.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Laura.
The golf courses had a record year last year, thanks in part to people coming out during the pandemic.
Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, today, Show Us Something Good stars 35 Broadway actors. They performed the songs Seasons of Love and Let the Sun Shine In during the Celebrating America broadcast. It was all part, of course, of the inaugural festivities. And if you missed it, here's a clip of their performance.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love?
The magic of Zoom. If you're intrigued and you want to see more, and I'm sure you are, you can go to our website, WKYC.com. We have the entire performance. It's incredible what you can do with a couple of Zoom calls, right, Bets?
It is, and I'll tell you what, if I'm singing along with them, in my head, I sound just like they do. It works. Try it. Just don't sing out loud that anybody else can hear you, or mute your Zoom and everybody will think you're in the choir. Thank you so much.